Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in this world. God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the New Jerusalem Holy Bible, and we are in Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 16. The Pharisees asked for a sign from heaven. The Pharisees and Sadducees came, and to put him to the test, they asked if he would show them a sign from heaven. He replied, "In the evening you say, 'It will be fine, there's a red sky.' And in the morning, 'Stormy weather today, the sky is red and overcast.' You know how to read the face of the sky, but you cannot read the signs of the times. Can you read the signs of the times?" I'm telling you, he gave us lots of many warnings and signs to look for his return. It is an evil and unfaithful generation asking for a sign. The only sign it will be given is the sign of Jonah. And he left them and went off. The sign of Jonah was that Jonah was in the whale's belly for 3 days, and then he was spit out alive on the shore near Nineveh. And Jesus will be in the grave for 3 days, but then he will rise and live again and live forever. And he ascended into heaven, and that's where he is now, and he sits at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. I love you, Father. I love you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. The yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. The disciples, having crossed to the other side, had forgotten to take any food. Jesus said to them, "Keep your eyes open and be on guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees." And they said among themselves, "Is it because we brought no bread?" And it is because we have brought no bread? We don't have any bread? Jesus knew it, and he said, "You have so little faith. Why are you talking among yourselves about having no bread? Do you still not understand? Do you not remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000 and the number of baskets you collected? Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000 and the number of baskets you collected? How could you fail to understand that I was not talking about bread? What I said was, beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees." Then they understood that he was telling them to be on their guard, not against yeast for making bread, but against the teaching of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Peter's profession of faith, his preeminence. Then, when Jesus came to the region of Caesarea in Philippi, he put his question to his disciples, "Who do they say the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, some Elijah, others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. But you," he said, "who do you say I am?" Then Simon Peter spoke up and said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Simon, son of Jonah, you are a blessed man, because it was no human agency that revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. So now I say to you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my community. The gates of the underworld can never overpower it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he gave the disciples strict orders not to say to anyone that he was the Christ. First prophecy of the Passion. From then onwards, Jesus began to make it clear to his disciples that he was destined to go to Jerusalem and suffer grievously at the hands of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and to be put to death, and to be raised up on the third day. Then taking him aside, Peter started to rebuke him. "Heaven preserve you, Lord," he said. "This must not happen to you." But he turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle in my path, because you are thinking, not as God thinks, but as a human being." The condition of following Christ. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone wants to be a follower of mine, let him renounce himself and take up his cross and follow me. Anyone who wants to save his life will lose it, but anyone who loses his life for my sake will find it. What then will anyone gain by winning the whole world and forfeiting his life? Or what can anyone offer in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man is going to come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he will reward each one according to his behavior. In truth, I tell you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming with his kingdom." And this is what made the disciples, the apostles, think that Jesus was coming back in their time when they were still alive, or shortly after their demise. But he said, "Some of you will not taste of death until you see the kingdom of Christ coming." And so he said, when he said this to them, they thought, he's leaving, but he's going to be right back, right back. We have to remember that 1,000 years for man is a single day for God. One single day for God is 1,000 years for man. Just imagine how it's going to be in eternity. Will we have a calendar? Will anyone even care? It'll be interesting to see, huh? Will we celebrate the Sabbath? Will we keep the feast? I don't know. If someone knows the answer to that, I'd be curious to hear it. For the Son of Man is going to come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he will reward each one according to his behavior. In truth, I tell you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming with his kingdom. The Transfiguration. Oh, that would be chapter 17. So we're going to stop there, and we will pick up in chapter 17 tomorrow, God willing. There we go. And as always, I love you.